Where are you exactly at the moment?
So this is Adabraka, close to the Abbey House. For those of you who know Adabraka very well, this is an area where we're learning, according to residents, is never spared devastation whenever the rains come. And so we're going into some of the homes in a short time. We'll be interacting with those who have been gravely affected by overnight rains, their television sets, their mattresses, essentially everything in their homes have been destroyed. So I'm going to be speaking to some of them in a short while, Helen. But here you are. Just look at the extent of devastation. This is actually one of the shops, in front of this building where they use to repair television sets and electronic devices. So what you see in the picture right now are the remnants of all that's been destroyed: the television sets, the microwaves, you see speakers, and all of these. In fact, I'm told a few hours ago when the rains came, all of these were completely submerged in the flood waters. You can see the level of the water. This is almost above my waist, Helen, and this, according to what they tell me, was a level of the flood waters a few hours ago. I'm going to be speaking to some of the individuals who will be telling us about how they were able to pass after night and what they have been able to salvage in terms of the debate. So let me just quickly get here. So look in here. So you find chairs, you find mattresses, you find pillowcases. This is one of the rooms people have had to, suspend some of the items in the room so they are not completely overwhelmed by the flood waters. But Helen, I tell you what, this is not an isolated case. When you come to Adabraka here, you find many homes along the stretch up until the big drain there that have been affected. You see people have put out here, utensils, their television sets, and there are a few others who are still trying to salvage what they can. Their beddings, have all been, left out here. We'll be interacting with some of them shortly. They will tell us about how they were able to pass the night and then, what they're looking to do from here. Because now almost everything, as you see in the pictures, are gone. Let me get quickly. I see someone trying to salvage something from here. Let me quickly attempt to get a word from him. Uncle, let me quickly try and get a word from the owner of this shop. And you still see that as we wade through the waters, it's really tough. Let me attempt to speak to Uncle. Mepacho, good morning. Mepacho, wait there. Sorry. The person who say, is this the first time I be this AC wall shop? Okay. Okay. See, throughout the night, so how were you able to cope? Okay. Into your friend will say, okay. And it's our book out. So all he's telling me is that this is a shop. He operates and sells electronic devices. He tells me that he's been unable to salvage anything at all from here. All that he sells here, all that he repairs here are completely gone. And so I'm going to find out from him what's next from here. Then I'll be
this year, the more to have with my boy, and only the can't go because I'm never. I'm going to
na and we are assembly for no more and nim sa situation na de no my afa okay number 12 also. So Helen Kennedy Owusu-Banahene is just one of the many individuals here who are counting their losses and having to scoop flood waters out of his shop. He is getting back to his shop from Kaswa, and he has just been discovering that the television sets everything, all the electronic devices in this shop that we used to operate are completely gone. I will attempt to speak to another person. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's your name?
Jerry,
Jerry. How long have you lived here?
for more than 50 years now.
Okay, tell us about, is this the worst of the situation that can ever befall people who are across? Is this the worst?
Sure.
Okay, so tell us about the situation. How did you pass the night? How did you sleep, for example?
It's unexplainable because always when it rains, this is where what happens. And what I'm trying to say is that I blame our leaders.
Why so?
The problem is they think they have the degrees, the best, HND and whatever. So that's all. But that's not the knowledge of common sense. What they have to do is to create jobs in other regions so that the northern regions, the Ashanti regions and whoever it is will stay in their various places so that we don't come to Accra and come and put containers and other things to block the rain or whatever.
Okay.
Everybody wake up and come to Accra and come and put container everywhere. So when it rains, it doesn't flow.
Okay. So where are you going to go from here? What's going to happen from here?
We don't know. Only God knows.
Wow. So you just had there one other resident who is counting his losses. Let me attempt to speak to one other.
Before I
Okay, let's quickly go to that. Let me just quickly go to her room and then see the devastation that has been caused from the rains. And Helen, I tell you what, along the entire stretch, you find shops, you find stalls that have been completely destroyed. If you ask me, looking at the state and the extent of damage to their properties. And let me quickly find the room of one of the individuals I'm about to speak to. She's asked me to just observe for myself the damage that has been caused to her home and her room. So along, the corridors of this building, you find that they've been able to pull out some of the items, by the way, appear to be destroyed. Let me quickly get in. Okay, so this is the room of. Okay, so they are still, having to sweep flood waters from inside this room, this bedroom, and clearly these people here were unable to sleep all through the night because of the devastation. So this is what it is: the impact of the rain. So they've had to hoist some of the items, at a height so they are not completely destroyed. I'll be engaging the owner of this room shortly, and she'll be telling us how she's been managing to cope here all these years, and whether or not there's been any attempt, whether individual or collectively, to attempt to mitigate, if you like, the impact of the rains whenever they come. Because mind you, the rains, even more severe ones, we are told, are coming, and so you want to find out where, as you can see, this is one of the mattresses or beddings of the occupants of this compound. Let me quickly engage, the lady whose room I just showed quickly to tell us about the devastation. Thank you very much for joining. I'm going to see the room, and it's unfortunate. Sorry about what happened, but how did you pass the night then?
I passed it on the street. On the street. Since from Friday to Saturday. I couldn't know that's happening in my room. And yesterday night, 11:30, I just into the street. So
This morning,
time that I'm talking to you.
That must be really, really, really disturbing to hear. So,
I obviously last time we left the inside. This time it's 7:30 before we enter into our house.
sorry about this. So, what's going to happen from here then? Are there any, for example, visits, local authorities having come here to know the problem and haven't done anything at all about it?
Since I think the 3rd June, the 4th June,
The flood and fire disaster.
Yes.
Okay.
That one, yes. I slept in the hotel for 4. I too much. And then 2 months ago, I slept in the hotel again.
Wow.
I did it. At this time around, I say I won't go to any place. Last time the MP bought me a small mattress.
Okay.
So I slept outside for some time, about 2 months before everything.
Okay. So what would you say is the cause of all of this?
I can't tell. As for that one, yeah, I can't tell.
So what should be done going forward so we can have an end to this once and for all? Because it doesn't look like it's going to end. Let me just take a look at. Okay, there she's showing us the mattress of her children, which had to be brought out as well because of the situation. This clearly is a lot of devastation for one family. But let me just take her final word. So, finally, any word at all to authorities, to local assembly members to, put in some measures so they'll be seen as working and being able to deal with it.
The way forward, when I said I don't want somebody wants it.
Right.
So I can't decide for any of them. If they watch what is happening and they are there, support them.
Thank you very much, Ma. What's your name?
Long book manager like
So you just had a rather distraught 70-year-old Long Hope there. She's just crying out for something to be done about this situation here because according to her, it's not the first time an incident like that is happening. And the earlier something is done about it, the better, because then they are having to, spend resources to acquire all of these things. Whenever the rains come, they are completely devastated. So you will see that some more individuals are trying to, clean up what's been left of the devastation. Let me quickly find. Okay, there's a hairdressing salon here. They've had to also pack out everything. They are still trying to clean up the facility. They've had to pull out everything. So you find some of the mannequins, the hair, strands that have been pulled out. Let me quickly get a word from. Wow, Mami Pacho, good morning. Me Pacho, if I was saying. Betty. Now, with a story about what's happened to you overnight. Now, what's the area here? Now, over the kind of people say, yeah, too. Okay. You see, how did you cope during the rains all through the night?
Exactly the same thing. Then they caught after the bar who was from the sea. The bar and I hear them and get back
Okay, so what she's saying is that, I mean, it's not the first time this is happening. And when the rains came, they had to climb onto the higher part of this building. So they had to climb up, the building a higher ground so, they could escape the flooding. And now that the water has receded, they are back to clear up the debris. Nti sisi ano, wonyama nyinaa sɛe, na kyerɛ sɛ wo hair no, equipment na ɔde yɛ adwuma no nyinaa sɛe. Wow.
Yeah, I don't put him in and I have to and say, no, every year, yeah, you retire. Every year, yeah, you retire. See, yeah, solution. Every year, yeah, well. Every year, young baby come. I will be fine. And then I had a young so find a solution now. You also near my say, yeah. Nothing about start about what was happening. Yeah, again. A shop, over be a shop. It's not, they say, it's near my boy. Now, all this time is starting. Yeah. I did win quam, no quam, over 3,000. Say, one day, so they say. And the solution I yes, I might say, and some find no more near my God said, any idea a big guy, it's almost money for any idea a big guy. And I do more for you improve your main, and I say, nice about Saturday. and then so I say about the baby doing there, yes, Rabbi,
So that's clearly frustrated Betty. She's clearly frustrated and fed up with the yearly occurrence of a flood situation in this area. She's just been telling us about just how much in terms of what she has lost in her home, first of all, and in this shop, which you can see she's trying to clean up after overnight rains destroyed a lot of her equipment, as you can see. So she's just telling us, the authorities, that something must be done because they are fed up of talking and saying the same things over and over again. So that's what's been happening here at Adabraka. Helen, Bella, and Johnny, this is the impact of overnight rains on some of the residents here. Not even, some of these bars have been spared the devastation of the rains that happened overnight.
All right, Komla Adom, thank you so much for that. Komla Adom is in Adabraka, and you've been seeing some of the scenes, some of the devastation caused by the rain, which is still ongoing at the moment. More rain expected this evening. It'll be interesting, to note how some of these residents, plan on recouping some of their assets, which are now floating in the water. You saw mattresses, also that salon that Komla visited. You've got equipment that has been destroyed, strands of hair here and there. We're still looking at the hashtag. It is TV3Newday. A number of you also sending in your tweets, your videos, and your pictures. We're seeing a lot of flooding at the moment. The tweets are pouring in fast and thick. And as we spoke, or as Felicity said this morning, chief forecaster, more rain to come up until noon, and then some more towards the evening. We're looking at live videos now, and this, as you can see, a lot of devastation. Ketu South is what we're seeing at the moment. Residents displaced. You have water still rising as they try to clear the area. Ketu South on your screens at the moment. A lot of water, a lot of devastation. Bella.
Well, very, very devastating there as well. And I'm just logging on to 3news.com. It's also reporting of a landslide in Kaswa as a result of the heavy rains. And so it says that the situation has caused heavy vehicular traffic on the Kaswa-Accra highway as vehicles could not move to their various destinations. And the assembly member for the area, in an interview with 3FM, indicated that the area needs urgent attention to resolve the issue. They are calling on NADMO to also come in. Otherwise, it will be a big blow because the area is busy with cars. And so there's a current landslide in Kaswa as a result of the heavy rain. So if NADMO authorities are listening and watching as well, please, let's do something about it. And not just Kaswa, many areas across the city. And if you're in Kaswa, by the way, and you're also affected by this problem, please send us some videos. Let us know what the situation is on the ground. I know Kaswa is trending at #1 on Twitter with people sharing the 2 cents on it. I'm seeing some videos where some people are saying the current state of Accra, even Kaneshi Abosokai as well, is said to be flooded. And Johnny joins us. I mean, Johnny had a bit of a struggle getting to the office this morning.
Exactly.
What was your experience?
Well, so you know that each time it rains, the Kaneshi area gets flooded. And that's a route I use sometimes. It gets flooded. The road from the Kaneshi First Light area all the way to Obechebelamte flooded. So that would encapsulate parts of Abosuka and parts of Mataheko flooded. The road from that end, Obechebelamte, all the way towards Odoko, also heavily flooded. So the Kaneshi market itself, which is the epicenter for these areas, was flooded. The drivers had to then devise a way of trying to divert traffic. They would go through the Abosukai area, ICGC area, connect onto the Kolebu road, and then hit the main road by the beach, and then get towards Lighthouse. And then so they can come, if you're coming towards the soup. Others would also have to use that end towards Kokomlemle, come through ATTC, connect again, and then come to the bus stop, restaurant or cheesy pizza, connect and then come.
Connect.
So that's the route I used. But I'm not surprised that all of this is happening because year on year we talk about the problems, the rains goes away and then we go back and settle down. Accra by its topography or topology is a low-lying area. So we know that year on year, the water from all other parts of the country will come towards Accra because Accra is where the sea is, and all the rivers flow into the sea. Whether we like it or not, rivers, lagoons, lakes, whatever it is, they all flow into the sea. So we know that the area is a low-lying area. And I remember that in 2015, June 3, His Excellency John Mahama spoke about the fact that Accra is a low-lying area. He actually said that we should not be like the vulture. When it starts raining, we say, oh, we will construct our roof. When it stops raining, we forget about it. He said it. President Akufo-Addo said it was unacceptable. He was the opposition leader at the time. He said it was unacceptable that this is happening, that people should die in the field flood and fire disaster that hit Tekel, and that we should fix it. Sami Ayaba Nkrumah was there, and many other people were there. What has happened since then? Now, I went to the mountains over the weekend, and what I saw broke my heart because we are turning the greens into brown areas. We are concretizing everything. Ghana may not be green again. So that the areas around the Blekusu, where Ashesi University is, where Lighthouse Chapel and Anakazo, all those places, all those, big, things that are coming up. They are literally cutting down trees to build. That's what's happening. They are doing brick and mortar, whatever it is. So we will always continue to spend money to desilt the outdoor by cubic meters, and we pay heavily for it. But I can tell you on authority that nobody in Accra gathers sand to go and toss it into the outdoor. Nobody does that. Nobody gathers sand to go and toss it into the college. So now the question is, where does the sand come from? The sand comes from the top, because when it rains, the water has to rush down and come into the ocean. So it brings along with it some sand, and the Odo Canal and the Korle Canal are the routes that they have to use. So they will always be silted. You can desilt it in 24 hours, 48 hours, 36 hours. You'll get it
Same
again.
problem
Now,
prevails.
then the question is, how do we fix this? Until we have a deliberate policy to say, if you're coming for a permit and we come and check your soil, do whatever it is, you must have a certain percentage of your land kept as green. You have to have your lawn, you have to plant trees, you have to keep flowers in the house, because aside the quality of air, it also helps, because you can't plant a tree and then cement it.
That's right.
So water hits the ground and it seeps into the earth. It's all part of the process that Oduman Nkrumah himself had taught for us. That's the first one. So we need to start thinking green. And you see the Kaswa area. What's happening at the Kaswa area, the landslide that's happening there.
That's right.
It is because for a long time, the grass that was holding the hill, the portion that always comes down, is not there anymore. So the water hits, the landslide happens. This morning we'll go and scrape the sand. We won't take it back to where it came from. We'll throw it away. So if you have your home atop the hill, every time your shelter is being dug away. One day, we will wake up and we will realize that that portion has come down. It will go straight to hit our Wager Dam, which supplies about 70% of the water to Accra and many parts of the country. We will have that problem on our hands. People will not find water to drink. People's homes will be destroyed. People's livelihoods will be messed up, and we will still have these problems on our hands.
And we're seeing that this morning.
We are not thinking.
But Johnny, as far back as 2014, we're told that 70% of Accra was concretized. Concrete, 70% of Accra is concrete. This is 2014. We're, 8 years in? I dread to think what that percentage is, and that's why we should be concerned about what happens to our forest reserves. It is important. The situation is dire. We're seeing so much devastation just this morning, and how many days into this rainy season are we? And look at the scenes. See, so the area around Ayimensa, Pantai, those areas, naturally they are buffer zones. So water comes from the mountains. It's supposed to settle around there, those wetlands. It's supposed to settle around there. Now we have built everywhere
put concrete everywhere. So the water comes from the top with the sand that I spoke about, heading for the Odo, the Korle, whatever it is. And then in 30, 45 minutes, the water already is in Accra. Previously, because of those green areas, the water hits it. It takes time because as the water travels in the buffer area, some of the water seeps into the earth. You know, some of it is trapped by the grass. It takes a slower pace before the water comes, so that the volumes of water that had already gathered in Accra could go before this one comes to meet it. Now, the situation we have, because of how we have lived our lives, Accra gets flooded, and then the water from the top tries to find its way and comes to add on to what already is in Accra. We are building any and everywhere.
It's sad.
We are not planning our lives. And you see, there's a planning department that fought and said we want to be an authority so we can bite. Since they became a planning authority, what has become the story? So in most of the communities, you find that we see the land, we go straight ahead to build, and then we start thinking of how to plan. So most of the new communities, they don't have schools, they don't have markets, they don't have car parks, they don't have public toilets, they don't have nothing. So if you and Bella have, say, 2-3 plots that's lying fallow, then they convert it into a taxi rank for the area. When you are ready to develop, it becomes a tussle. Because the people say, the car park, and they just start to wax emotional. But it's my piece of land.
Absolutely. Well,
these are live videos.
Same
by
thing
the
for
way,
football.
quick
Yes, this is in
Circle,
Accra. Yeah.
This is the situation. And for me,
this is Adabraka area.
Not to cut you, but when it comes to Circle, Kaneshi, those areas I'm very passionate about because you can see clearly that there's development happening there. And I'm talking about the expansion of the roads.
Yeah.
And you ask yourself questions. Was there even a plan for a proper drainage system? Because we've known for so long that these areas always flood. Look at Johnny having to divert his routes because those places were flooded. What is the plan? And it goes back to the issue of Garrett. Now, Garrett was supposed to take 5 years to complete. 2 years down the line, and we're told that designs are now being studied. Designs for these areas, Circle, Kaneshi, they're ready, but they're now being studied before they'll go ahead and start constructing. And so how long are we going to have to deal with this problem before we actually find a lasting solution to it? That's my worry.
So one of my guys who, prints stuff for me, Niyama Ayi, is at the Circle area. Print Cortex, that's the name of their company. It says the water is 5 feet high.
Look at that. 5 feet.
So it means that their risograph, their printing
Everything is
machines,
destroyed.
their laptops, everything is messed up. And this happened 2 years ago to them. They had to look for money and start all over again.
And at a time like this, Johnny, where things are tight, you
And
can't add that to your list of
And you
priorities.
see, we have already been told that we spent 450 million. Address this one.
Floods.
Lawyer Tachi had told us that we have spent 17 million. The president was so impressed, he added 200 million to it. So if you put 217 million plus 450, my math is not good. But that is 670 something million cedis already thrown at the problem. But I'm saying that if the capacity of the Odo, which is supposed to hold the water, channel it into the ocean, is, let's say, 100%, and it gets silted up to 40%, the capacity of the Odo has been shortchanged.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because there's sand in it.
Inside.
And so, right from the top, we need to start encouraging people to plant. We have scientists in this country who know the kinds of grass that we can plant to prevent erosion, to hold the... We know. They know. They know. They are aware. This morning, they will go to work. They know.
But the question is there even enough land for them to be able to plant these things? Because we've had people encroach on all these lands. Authorities are not doing much about it. They wait till it's rainy season and they come and issue a statement that says that bring down all houses that are on waterways. How long have we known this? Why do we always wait till the floods come before we issue these statements?
Bella,
why have we not worked all year round to ensure that we prepare adequately for this situation?
I think that one of our problems is also the local government ministry and the assemblies. It's a major problem. You cannot in any way in this country put up a building without the tacit approval of an assembly.
That's right.
That is non-negotiable. The assembly has partners. EPA is part, fire service is part, NADMO is part. They have a whole crack team that even moves in droves to come and check the land you have acquired to see whether you are qualified to build there or not, whether it's suitable for the kind of building you even want to put up. Then they go ahead to check the quantities and everything. It takes a rigorous process. You pay for it and they approve it. How is it then that they finish and they come and tell you that you built in waterways? Were they sleeping or hallucinating when they were granting people the license?
Spring up in just
they don't do.
Hours. They've been
because
for months and years.
It takes 21 days for concrete to cure. 21 days.
This is
3
someone's
weeks.
living room.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. This is even a compound.
Yeah, you won't believe that this was once just concrete.
Yes, but this is a this is somebody's compound.
Where's
a walled house.
Where's the greenery in that?
That's the question. So now I'm saying that the assemblies are a problem. If you had bylaws that were effective 20, 30 years, 40 years ago, you need to change the bylaws. You need to now know that times have changed. Global warming, climate change is here.
That's right.
So as part of your green agenda, which the government claims to have, the assemblies this morning, led by their minister and all the regional ministers, will be thinking and saying that as regional coordinating council, district, whatever it is, when you bring your permit to us and you want to build your plan to us, you must have, say, 15%, 20, 30% of your land as green. Then we can say those who can do more than 20% and go to 30, 40, 50%, we will give you a price cut for whatever permits. So if I'm supposed to pay 4,000, we will halve it for you so that, because you're trying to be a responsible citizen to help all of us. Do we do that? No, we don't do that. Go to the homes of the diplomats in this country. High commissions. Name them. Nigerian High Commission, Australian High Commission, British High Commission, American Embassy. Go into their compound and even the residences of the ambassadors. You will see greens. You will see little wood. You will see forests, if you want to call it that way. Go into any of their homes. Go into their offices. Go there. And a typical example is the Netherlands Embassy here. Don't we see the greens there?
Very green.
Go to the Australian High Commission. Go to the Indian High Commission. Check around. Now, mirror it and go to our state institutions that we are building. Is it Shippers Authority that you find green? Is it the Maritime Authority you find green? Is it the Food and Drugs Authority you find green? Is it the Ghana Standards Authority that you find green? The people who are supposed to give us Ghana Standards Authority, will you find green there?
The government says they are
Go to Kolebu, will you find the... Oh, please. I am saying show us the trees that you planted in the past. I'm saying that. I just give you a classic example. These are foreign countries. In our country, we have given them land to say build your embassy or your high commission. After building it with all the specifications, they have greens and they pay people to mow the lawn, maintain it. When we have money and we build a new, go to NHIS, where's the green? We are doing concrete, everything concrete. Go to our Supreme Court. Where is the green?
By the way, this is Jowulu, also flooded. This is, I think, the drain in Jowulu as well. And Jowulu is also another place that is always flooding. Now, if you get to the main Jowulu traffic lights, sometimes you have to park because you cannot go through that stretch.
I'm not going to use that route.
You cannot. Then. So if you're coming from, and for those of you who are trying to understand, if you're coming from the Achimota roundabout, coming all the way down, trying to cross through Jowulu to the Pig Farm Junction, that Jowulu traffic light stretch is one of the most dangerous places when it rains. It's going to be because it comes all the way up. You cannot even see. And there was a time when my car was low, like everybody literally had to park because you could not go through that side.
Bella.
And it's happened over and over
Bella,
nothing has been done.
You and I are Ghana people. The place is called Jowulu. The Great Valley, for a reason. Who built in the valley? Which sensible person built in the valley? There is Jowulu, the Great Valley. There is Tesano. Even the Bible tells us that you build your house upon the rock. So you would have built a Tesano if you were wise and left Jowulu alone. Because when the water leaves the mountain, like I've explained to you the Accra example, it hits the jaw and goes straight. This is a buffer. Jowulu, Abelempe, Achimota, they are all part of the forest today we are talking about, and the shameful scramble for the forest that is happening now. Jowulu, It's not supposed to be a place that is supposed to be inhabited by people. Jawulu, the Great Valley. I don't know how you say it in Tree.
Well,
Jawulu, the Great Valley.
I will let you know.
How do
The
you say
Great Valley.
How do you
Yes.
say valley in Tree?
Again, I will come back to that.
So when you have people building in valleys, the water, that's the waterway. When you go and live there, you will always have problems. And we have high-end homes. The high and mighty, the rich and powerful in society. That's where their homes are. They have succeeded in building in those places. Their homes don't flood. The people who are the mob-rowers who are living around those places, they get flooded. Their houses get inundated with water. And then the assemblies will cap the problem by giving permits to all manner of container holders to put containers everywhere. We are not thinking.
If you're watching,
This is somebody's house again.
This is wage up barrier. This is wage up barrier that you're seeing on the screens right now. That is someone's house almost submerged. In fact, it's a story building, but you can see that almost half of the ground floor is submerged in water. And the water is not even finding an escape. So it's literally just sitting on the compound. But look at the street as well. Look at that. And this is Osu, the same Osu. Well, it's flooded as well. And, well, thank you to all of you who are sending in videos as well, letting us know where exactly it's flooded. This is around the GIJ area in Osu.
Yeah.
That's also flooded as well.
So those are the ringway estates. And these are properly planned settlements.
I used to live in that area.
Which didn't use to flood. Adabraka is a high-end area.
That's right.
It didn't use to flood.
Yeah.
That's true.
Asylum Down, high-end area. It didn't use to flood. And even the older generation that constructed those places, look at the gutter from Nima, the youngsters, all the way through Paloma, what do you call it? Asylum Down area, the huge gutter that connects all the way to the door. They had a plan. What is our plan? Sunday, I went with Daniel to, what do you call it? Roland is out there. Let's take a look at Roland.
To Roland, yes. Roland, what can you tell us?
Yes, I have to say that a lot of the houses within the Adabraka enclave just close to the old river, so as we have it extending to Odona, has been inundated with flood water extensively for the last 30 minutes. I've been going through a number of these houses, tens of houses, I should say, if not hundreds. And it's been a very sorry sight. So let me just first describe to you what the situation has been since the rain started. You can find that this is a normal living quarter of one of the residents of this very place, just around the clinic area, and that you just close to the city. TV or CTFM as you find. This would have been a normal time where somebody was sleeping in one of these, but because of the force of the water, it's broken the glasses and also made entry into the building. So you can find that this is on the level at which we can find the water, this level. And now the water has just not receded several hours after the incident. Now we go closer and I want to show you at the lentil level or the level of the water when the rain got inundated in the area. This was the level, very close to the mystery. And we know that electricity is not a good conductor of heat, but also water is a very critical aspect. That is, if you want to get electrocuted. And nearly getting to where we have the metering system. Now, you get closer, you find that all those who had been in this building at the time would have to be evacuated. And this happened at the height when it was raining and it was dawn. So, look, all these places full of water. We just have close by one of the landlords of the area. I'll speak to him and you'll find that he's there. The camera will just speak to him. He's there and he's just desperate, doesn't know what to do. Before we get to him, let's have some conversation with one or two other residents. I remember just 2 years ago, I came here, this was extensive coverage with the Member of Parliament for the area, Jonathan Rawlings, and I have Michael, I can tell you Michael, right? But you take a look at the experiences that you guys go through. You can speak any language that you want. You're live on TV3Newday. What have been your experiences so far, Michael?
It's very tough. You know, when it's last year, most of our things, most of our items and property got fraud, and we become stranded. And this thing has been going on and on and on, and nothing has been done about it. So we are pleading to the government. If there's something that could be done about it, they come in our aid, because day in and day out, when it gets rain, we have to stand up very early, and up to now, we have sleepless nights without even putting our head on bed, because if we sleep right now, when it's rain, as I'm speaking to now, since from 12 a.m.
You're talking about midnight.
Midnight.
You haven't slept.
You haven't slept.
Okay. The last time I came here 2 years ago, I noticed that there were a number of businesses. They sold spare parts, did not old appliances, posting them, as you call them. Yeah, and then also old appliances, TVs, etc. Those shops also have been inundated with water.
Yes, of course.
How are they coping currently?
Because with them, I don't know, but always you have to remove all the stuff, you have to clean it, and sometimes they will dry it, but sometimes it got spoiled. Right. And you see they were crying and shouting that all my items have got spoiled. I have to go to the bank, apply for back loan, and
have to restart again.
Again.
And it's an annual. Does it happen annually these days, or now it's almost like two times every year?
It's almost like 2 times every year, maybe once in a year, then this thing happens. So nothing has been done about it.
So 2023, you are ready yourself for the next plan.
That's it.
That's a very desperate situation, Mike.
Well, so that's sad there. That's the Adabraka area. And I was talking about Adabraka being a high-end area. The High and Mighty lived in Adabraka. The High and Mighty lived in Osu, Ringway Estates. The High and Mighty lived in Awudome. The High and Mighty lived in Dansoman. All these places get flooded. Let's go back to Roland.
Okay, I think we're having a few challenges reconnecting with Roland Walker. He is in Adabraka as we speak, and you can see the water levels. He indicated that the water had risen all the way up until, I think it's a meter there. You've got you've got poles as well. Well, what you're seeing now is Awoshi, a lot of flooding also in the area. You can see people's belongings, kids wading through the water. It is not safe. It is not sanitary.
Somebody sent me a message from Abosokai and said that they hadn't slept. They had to carry the children shoulder high. They had to carry the children shoulder high.
All through the night.
Yes. You know, in 2015, when we had a similar thing like this, in 2015, people had to park their cars and put their children on top of the cars in Accra. This is the capital of Ghana. You see, sometimes when you say these things, people think you hate the government of the day, you don't like, but this is affecting everybody. The rains will not ask whether you are NDC or MPP before they come into your homes. The rains will not ask whether you are NDC or MPP before your things are destroyed. If you would die through the rain, unfortunately, the rain will not ask you. And between 2015 and now, we have lost about 600 people in floods. This is official data put out by the Finder newspaper. I didn't generate those figures. Why is it that in other places in the world, like Israel, it rains, they're happy because they want to harvest the water, use it for other purposes. It rains here and we're crying. And you see, I'll say this thing again. We keep desilting the Odor River when we know that Accra is a low-lying area. Because you see the color of the water.
That's right.
It's all sand. All of it will go into the Odor. We will silt it. We will go and pick money. We'll desilt it. That's a lot. So we are just throwing money at the problem. And we are not thinking about the solutions. We are not thinking green. We are cutting down trees to plant trees. That's our tragedy. This whole, we will plant 5 million trees, we'll plant 20 million trees. And I've asked that question. We are cutting down trees. This whole conversation about Achimota Forest, Atiwa Forest, whatever forest, Mole National Park, Rosewood, here, there. We are cutting down trees that are already matured. And in this day and age, when everybody around the world is thinking towards a green economy, we are thinking of cutting down trees to plant trees as a facade. It's sad. We are cutting down trees to plant trees, Ajana 1, Ajana 2. That's what we're doing. So we will continue having these problems every single day. Every time it rains, we will have these problems on our hands. When the officials come and say, oh, it is raining here, so move to high areas. Which are the high areas? Do you even have evacuation centers? We have over 200 districts in this country. I want any of the 200 districts or more, 261 districts, I want any of them to come to me and tell me that, oh, in Bompata, this is our evacuation center. So that if we have a disaster here today, this is where we move them. Ayawaso East, Ayawaso West, we have, what do you call it, disaster here. If it happens, we will move the people here. Ablikuma Central, Ablikuma South, Ablikuma West, Oti. I want them to come and tell us. They have no plan for evacuation centers. And in any responsible country where you know that you have disaster-prone situations like this, you should have evacuation centers. We have no plan.
Because you see little children wading in the water. Are they going to school today? What, like you said,
We have no
what
plan.
is the plan? What happens if it rains now for another 12 hours non-stop? These areas where the waters have reached the rooftop. What is going to happen?
And it is going to rain again, per the reports we are getting. It's going to rain, even thunderstorms.
Yes.
So you find that people are walking in the water barefooted. It comes with attendant foot rot and other illnesses and whatever it is. Are we ready? We are not disaster ready. We just are happy launching the book and the manuals. We get the president or whoever, which of other official, to go and cut ribbon, make speeches. Asem Nasan. Where we went to at Flamingo in Accra, the gutter that is feeding the, what do you call it, the main drain, the huge one that started at President Rawlings, President Kufuor came to continue and installed there. It's a small gutter. The gutter that is feeding that one as well is a big gutter.
A big one.
So the water cannot, the channel in between the two storm drains is a small gutter.
Yeah.
So when the water cannot fit into the gutter, it overflows and goes into people's homes. It's common sense. I am not an engineer, but I don't see how it's happening like that. As a boy, I witnessed how the Kaneshi Odoko, the Winneba Highway as it's called, was constructed. As a boy, I saw it. It was by construction pioneer, CP.
Okay.
Under that huge, that stretch of road, from Kaneshi all the way to Winneba, Cape Coast, and back, that main Kaneshi road, there are huge drains under it.
There are?
Yes, there are.
Why is Kaneshi still flooding?
Because it is silted. I saw it myself. There was a time a woman fell into it as a boy, as in 1993, 1994-ish. A woman fell into it. They had to go and bring an excavator to come and put it inside. They took her out around where the footbridge is.
Did she survive?
Yes, she survived. As a boy, I saw it because it was still under construction. I'm saying that there are huge drains under that. When you're driving on that Kaneshi stretch, there are huge drains, storm drains under it. That feeds into the Odo River. Now, you ask a good question. Why does it still flood? It floods because it is silted. And it is for the simple reason that whatever landslide you are finding at Kaswa, that comes down. A portion of the sand enters the gutter. Nobody checks. Whatever sand comes from Cape Coast, Winneba, Asing, all those areas, it's coming straight. So that's where we have the problem. So we are in Accra trying to desilt the Odo. But the problem is also at the top.
Exactly.
We don't have a holistic plan.
Yeah.
And we will continue to talk about these things every day. It's not as if they don't know. They know.
This is someone's washroom.
Yes. And you know what? The sanitary conditions that will come in. Because this means that if this place is full, it means that the septic tank, which has the fecal matter, is full.
Also,
which means that it will regurgitate, come back. It's in their room. You see where we are going?
Oh my God.
You see where we are going?
Where does a family like this sleep on a night like this?
They cannot
sleep.
They can't sleep.
What is the plan?
Mr. Mingle said they can't sleep. he actually had hung his bread in the kitchen so the bread will not be soaked because that's the food he has to eat.
Because along with this, you have power outages. You can't even cook. What about the kids that have to go to school tomorrow?
They won't go to school.
At this point, I don't even think it's safe to even allow your child to go to school because you cannot even tell what they will meet on the way as well. It's going to be very dangerous.
This is somebody's room. Everything is ruined. Everything is ruined. Look, guys, share your videos with us. And you see, I like for us to not just make this trend, but to ask questions. If anybody is an MCE or a DCE at this point, and they inherited this problem, but they don't have a blueprint to solve it, they should go. I saw some MCs around the Wejak-Bawe area trying to say, oh, they are constructing gutters, and that by the next raining cycle, not this year, next year, they will be a thing of the past. These same people have been in power since 2017. But
Johnny, even before we move forward to that, I remember that the former MC for the AMA boss, Ajesoa. Right. I remember that he took some, machines to go and dredge. And it was all over the news. And he said that we're working towards preventing floods when the rains do come. Months down the line, here we are again, and you're asking, which is the same problem that we're talking about, that are we really addressing the problem from the root? Because we invite the media to follow you, to go take pictures because we've brought some excavators, we're dredging here and there, put it out there, and that's it. Everybody goes back to sleep until it's time for the rains to come, it floods, and then we're back again, we're talking about the same problem. And people said it last year when there were floods. They said, oh, we'll all go back to sleep, come back a year later, and still talk about it, Accra floods, and then that's it. It's like a cycle that is never going to change if we don't really do anything about it, and it breaks my heart.
What puts me off is the unnecessary public show. So when it rained on Saturday, I think it was a Sunday, our Works and Housing Minister, he was out there taking a tour. You are taking a tour to the one.
Problem with that.
How many times would you take a tour to understand the problem? It's populist. Exactly. How many times would you take a tour to understand the problem that you already know?
You don't need to go far these days. You pick up your phone and thank you to everybody who's sharing.
No, but why are you waiting for the rains to come before you go on tour?
The same minister, when the disaster hit, well, he didn't go to the Volta region, by the way. So the Ketu South, Ketang, Loga people, they are not happy with him.
Only a
He went to Azizanya. And even that, he went to say he wanted to understand the problem. The what do you call it? The tidal waves thing happened, and this one will affect the people again. The tidal wave things happened last year in March. It happened again in May, and then it happened again later in November.
That's right.
We are in May, so let's say 1 full year since the second one happened. He promised that we're going to get the sea defense wall done. Have we looked at it? We have not. We have not spoken about it. We don't have shelters. We don't have food. Mr. Mingo said Nadmo has never been to. He's lived in that place for 30 solid years.
Let's quickly just cross over. We have one of our reporters on the ground as well, and he's showing us exactly what the situation is in one of the communities. Listen to this. Roland. Hello, Roland. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I believe, you're still in the same house in Adabraka.
Yes, I had just been thinking about the residents. And let me just show you a phenomenon that's happening. Like, you can find that you have...
Still a very wet and windy morning. We hope you're keeping safe and dry wherever you are. Thank you so much for the videos which you have been sharing with us, and also the pictures, the tweets. The hashtag is still TV3Newday. We've been speaking with our colleagues who are situated around Accra, giving us a live report of exactly what the situation is at the moment. Shortly, we'll be speaking with Komla Adom. He is still in the Adabraka area, and we'll be finding out exactly how the residents are faring and what the plans are, in fact, before more rains come, because as we've been speaking this morning, we do know that there is more rain to come. Komla Adom this morning is again at Adabraka. Komla, good morning to you again. Good morning to you again, Komla. I suspect he might have a bit of trouble hearing me. Komla? Okay, we'll try and get that sound up and running, but you can see he's
He
still...
can hear you, but he's muted his sound.
Komla,
you have to unmute yourself.
No,
hello, Komla, you have to unmute yourself.
Yes,
okay, good. Yes.
Right, we can hear you now.
All right, Komla, give us an update of what's happening at the moment where you are.
So I am still around, but I have come to a home where many of the people who live in this particular compound, have lost food items. So this family sell cake and fish. So I'm about to show you what's been left of the cake and the fish and the other,
breakfast in the
stuff
dream.
that they use. There you have it. This fried fish that is all gone. And a lot of it, actually, as you can see, and then ready, to be sold. I'm going to show you also the cake, which is supposed to have gone with this fish, which is all being disposed of now because it's been, destroyed. So there you have it, all of the cake. Is all gone as you see. You can imagine
Start there. In this tight economy, you can't have. I grew up in a Kenke home, so I know the tedious process it has to go through. You soak the maize, you grind it, you come and mix it, and then you make it ferment. Then you go and do that flatter. You cook, and then you come back, add fresh dough. Come and mold it before you boil it. So it's gone through all that process, ready for boiling, and then
only for the floods.
That's a lot of, and at every stage you are employing people, paying as they go through the process. It's painful.
That's a lot of breakfast that has gone to waste this morning. Even the fried fish you saw was not spared, and that was Komla Adom in the Adabraka area. A lot of businesses are going to suffer. And in fact, are suffering. Well, he's back with us. Komla, do tell us more. We saw that the kinke has been ruined. The fish also ruined. Can you hear us? I think we're having a little bit of difficulty.
Challenges there.
But you can see a lot of devastation still. Everywhere he's been this morning, you see things turned upside down. And I keep saying there is more rain to come.
Yeah. There is. And so wherever you are, I hope that you're trying to stay safe, even in the face of all these challenges. Let's move over now to Niboy Town and listen to what the lady has to say.
Because a quine now, no quine as a song, Peja quine, and Cosro Accra, never got an unso, and no, or Munya level be one, you soon to nothing about what I'm with, but city level in a quine eye painting. A higher hapa, a higher pie, near Accra, neck, or beer if you are hanging on, sure, Raffy or Porto, need beer, me fridge in Yan and Monsieur. But my scenarios and I'll buy it. I say, oh, she come every day and I'm soon in Africa now. Into one Yamasa, and Yamasa, the fridge, as a separate fridge in higher hapa, boy, come in fridge back. You sure for our hammer fridge, and I say, oh, and in a sea from home. You soon as any son. What you talk me to her. Okay. You say free way soon she has sent my pages when our pages here. Since you are sending in a say way and yet. Okay. And yet. Wow. Because I had him in a flat day. Eh, Nina, Christiana, wow, for my. I go my way. Christiana, but I don't say shoes on you. Yeah, I clearly.
Okay, Niboy Town there. It's a sad situation there. Well, let's activate the phone line, sorry, and hear from you what your experience has been We want to know exactly how you're coping. That we had announced for you that we'll have a conversation with NAPCO and the National Service personnel. Well, we'll have to postpone that because clearly the rains have taken center stage. So the phone lines are active. The phone numbers are on your screen. Let's hear from you what exactly your situation is as we speak. Has the rain visited you? How has it impacted you? And what has been the concerns that you have? Have you seen your assemblyman there, your unit committee people? Have you seen your MC, DC? Have you seen them around the place? Have you seen NADMO? Have you seen the fire service? Have you seen the police emergency? Have you seen any disaster relief coming towards you? Let's know. The phone lines are active now. And you share your thoughts. And Twitter is buzzing, Bella.
Yes, it is actually.
Helen, Twitter is buzzing.
If you look at that hashtag TV3Newday, and thank you to everybody that is contributing to the hashtag, you'll see still more pictures and videos of devastation in and around Accra. The traffic situation as well, not looking good at the moment. I've seen reports of people trying to commute from places like Kaswa, Achimota, and the rest. So do keep those tweets coming, and let's keep the conversation going.
Okay, so Accra. So far we've shown you stuff from Accra, but I can tell you on authority as well, people are sending me messages from across the country, how they have been impacted. In fact, from last Saturday, I was atop the mountains and it had rained. People, again, were raising concerns. You won't find the kinds of situation you find in Accra, you know, as aggravated as they are in Accra. But I tell you what, people feel the impact of saying in many parts of the country, especially the Kumasis of this world, the Takradis of this world, the Tamales of this world, the hosts of this. People feel, you know, and it's because over time we have allowed things to get out of hand. We have allowed it. We have permitted it. We have destroyed everything. Frank, calling us from Yocho. Good morning.
Hello.
Frank, good morning. You're calling us from Yocho. How are you this morning?
I'm good. You're also looking good.
Well, I'm not happy. Are you happy?
Not at all. But anyway, let me take a look at your sister's death first.
Right. Speak to them.
The one sitting in the middle, she's just looking good. It should be on all the time.
That's very kind.
In the face of floods, you have just found a partner.
See, so the guy is flooding her with love.
Exactly.
That's very kind. What's
She's
the
called
gentleman's
Helen,
name?
by the way.
Frank.
Anyway,
Frank,
John.
good morning to you, and thank you. You're very kind.
Sir John, it's so sad that we still talk about. Can I go on, please?
Go ahead. You, Frank, be frank and flood us with your comments.
No. Why? I'm a little bit ill, so I'm cool. Yeah, mother is cool. So I guess that it's so sad we are still talking about this flood thing. Then their engineers at tech.
Right.
Can't they just sit down and plan? We know these two governments, the NDC and NPP. They will rule the country. So why would they sit down and say, Charlie, the next 30 years, let's do this big drainage or whatever.
Right.
So that if any government that comes, they will continue whatever the price is. Then we'll get the place. John, I can't talk much. Let somebody to.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank. But I'm not Sir John. I don't have a will yet, and I don't have a nephew called Owusu. Thank you. Thanate you.
Maybe you will to us your grandpa clothing.
You
have quite a number. The chair you are sitting on, maybe it's your property as well. So
I want to will the sky situate above TV3 to you.
Hey,
anything is
me
possible.
is a sky train. The future sky train forever.
You call us as well. Let's know what your experience has been with the rain. It's quite sad. I mentioned the evacuation centers.
Yeah.
Like joke, as we say on the street. People have not slept.
Yeah.
Since last night. It could have an impact on their psychological and mental health. If it rains again tonight, that will be 2 straight nights of no sleep. Then our psychiatrists and our psychologists need to step in. The psyche of the nation. They need to step in.
I don't need to get to that side.
You have no food to eat.
Yeah.
You have no place to ease yourself if your toilet is flooded.
That's right.
You have nowhere to bath. You have no clothes because your clothes may have been destroyed.
Yeah.
So you are stranded. You are thinking. You don't have anywhere to lay your head. You are just roaming about. There's no evacuation center, no social protection policy for you.
All your kids.
You are in a mess.
Your minister is not available.
Well, the minister is on leave and dancing on TikTok. President is still keeping her at post. And good morning.
Let's talk to another caller.
Good morning.
You are calling us from Dansoman. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good.
What's your name, boss?
Yeah, I'm calling from Dansuma State. But our place is a safe place. Dansuma Kit Kat area is a safe place.
Right.
Because we are at the higher level.
Okay.
But the situation in this flat issue, you see, most of the new developed areas are connected into developed areas. So the drain flow into the new the already developed areas.
Right.
So the system that they were using of the drain cannot work anymore.
I see. Okay.
So they have to find another alternative. We have a lot of alternatives for draining water into the sea. We have mechanical and this pumping system. You see, because when the already developed areas the drains are already there, smaller than the new ones coming in. So the new ones are bigger than the new the one that is conveying the thing to the sea. So when
Right.
So
I get it.
The point that there should be automatic pumping system.
I hear you. Thank you very much. Let's let another person have a chance to also tell us what their situation is. And he raises a very important conversation. You see the places of abode I mentioned. Awudome, Kaneshi, Abosukan, Adabraka, Ringway Estates, Osu, cantonments. Those places never used to flood. But somebody up there, in some place, maybe in Sakina, wherever it is, they are building. They may have built on waterways while our authorities watched. When the water starts coming down, that's what I'm saying, the speed at which it used to come in the past, a slower pace, is not what it is now. Call us, share your thoughts and comments. The numbers are on the screen right now. Please call us and share your thoughts and comments. Let's have a national conversation. If you have any recommendations for assembly, he has just recommended that, like we're talking about the Flamingo situation.
Yeah.
The gutter in between, the channel in between the two flood drains is small.
It is. It is. So how do you expect that to carry?
It will not be able to carry the water. It will not be able to carry the water. And you'll be, because people bought their lands, people have lived there for 50 years, 40 years, never experienced that. And suddenly, they're experiencing it. I know a home on the Spintex Road. A foreigner came to buy the land. Built behind them is an area where the early settlers all agreed that it's a swampy area, so let nobody build there. And then the assembly grants permit to this individual to start building, and he concretizes everywhere. And now, when it rains, the whole area floods because of one house. Good morning. How are you?
Hello?
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
What's your name and location, please?
We are facing a problem at the Harvard Senior High School, Coco Memory.
Okay. Talk to me.
Along there, yeah. A lot of roads have been flooded.
Okay.
Yeah, so you tell the authorized people to come to our aid here.
Okay.
Okay. Kokomlemle, the Harvard Senior High School. Okay. And you say since it started raining and with all the challenges, that's a flood-prone area, I know. Nobody has come to you.
No. The gutters are choked.
You have to listen to us.
Here, so our roads are very, very bad.
Okay. You have to listen to us through the telephone and not the TV set. Yes. So you have to mute the TV so that you can listen to us on the telephone.
Anyway, we've lost him. But let's, just when you're talking about people building on drains, if you go to the Blekuma area, there's so many people who are guilty of that.
Yeah.
And I always ask the question because sometimes there's this very big gutter in Ablikum around the Olebu area. You'll see that there's even a car wash that is very close to the drain. And the drain already cannot even contain the water. So it seeps onto the street. And so for a long time, the road was divided. Right. It became a hill and a valley. So, and it's just supposed to be like a smooth road. You have to go up, come all the way down. Literally, when you go down, nobody even sees the car when you're behind.
Goodness.
It took a long while for them to try and figure out how to fix the road. But even that, now the drain has found another way of exiting onto the street. So it's eaten into another part of the stretch. So yes, they've built a bridge over it, but now it's eaten into the next stretch. So even if you go over the bridge and you go down, you're still going to experience the same thing again. So many houses built on drains in that enclave. Who is doing anything about it? And when you ask, one minister says that, or one MP says, this is not my area, it ends here, so I cannot do anything about it. The other MP says that this is my area, it ends here, so I can't do anything. So the people who are in the middle are the ones suffering. They are suffering. So this is the Trobu area and the Weja constituency, the Anya constituency and the Trobu constituency. Those two places, nobody really knows what is being done to that particular area because everybody says that is not my jurisdiction.
I'll come and cure the mischief of both MPs shortly. Let's pick this call. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Well, we don't have somebody there. Well, you call it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, you didn't want to talk to us?
Yes.
You didn't want to talk to us?
Yes, I want to talk to you on the flag.
Okay. What's your name and location, please?
My name is Samuel. I'm in Koforidua.
Covetown. Talk to me. I know that around the Summit Lodge area towards where the Jubilee Park is, it usually floods. But what else can you report?
Okay. I was actually in Accra yesterday when it was raining. And so I experienced a few of the flood. Now, I have a challenge here in Ghana. You see, like you and your panel members are saying, people are building on the the waterways. We are always saying this. So as a nation, what is the solution?
Right.
Because you see, people are just doing it. And when you dig into this matter, you realize that those who are doing it are the bourgeoisies, the rich men.
Right.
What is the solution? Day in and day out, year in and year after, we're having these same problems. And now those who are not even facing these challenges are now facing the challenge because people are continuously building in these the waterways. So I am suggesting that as a nation, we come out with stringent punishment or whatever it is. The people who build on these waterways are punished, whether their buildings will be demolished or something, because otherwise, this is something that is serious.
Right.
Today you will be sitting there, perhaps your family member is not affected, perhaps your property is not affected. Tomorrow it will come to you because people are still doing the same thing that they're not supposed to do.
It will.
So I think that the government has to come in. And you see, sometimes it even hurts to say government because it is the people in the government who are really doing these things.
Right.
Lands that are not supposed to be sold will be sold to people in the government. And so I don't know. Please, we should have a national policy that actually addresses this flooding problem.
Thank you.
Today it is Accra. Very soon it will start coming to Eastern region because it is a connected city.
Right.
And so some of these problems, when I hear them or when I see them, my heart melts.
Thank you very much. We're grateful. Thank you very much for calling us. We're very, very grateful. And it comes back to the policy exists. The president recently launched. You remember that when we had that earth tremor around the Weja area, the president directed that NADMO and all the agencies come together to put together a national plan for disaster.
That's right.
It was launched. The president went there. He made a speech. In that speech, he charged everybody else to make sure that this works. It has been 3 years. Has it worked? Now, to cure the mischief of the two MPs, I think that they're being disingenuous. Every member of parliament who campaigned to his people, got elected, is an ex-official member, or automatic member of the district assembly. Yeah. So when the assembly meets the Act 936 as an assembly, a local parliament, he is an ex-official. He has a voice there. Now, in that same Act 936, it says that 2 districts or 2 assemblies or even 2 constituencies can collaborate to fix the challenges of the people. Yeah. How is it that 2 lazy MPs are saying that my area ends here and my area ends there? If you go to the Nkrumah Circle, Okankwe South constituency is part of it, the circle area. Klote Kole is part of it. And then Ablekuma, Ayawasu Central is part of it. So Henry Quarte is there, Dakwa Newman is there, and then Zaneto Ajmaroles is there. It also has 3 assemblies that are there. So Henry Quarte will come and say, oh, this one, it doesn't come into my area. Dakwa says it doesn't come into my area. Zaneto says so the people are saying, what would they do?
Who's in charge?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Again, our last caller. Who's the last caller, Coco? Samo, good morning to you.
Samo, hello.
Sami, how are you?
I'm very good. Yes, ma'am. Good morning to you.
Morning.
And everyone in the studio, Bella and the other people.
Helen.
Okay. So, the problem is that, you see all these issues that we are raising, it's not like you said, it's not like we don't have solutions. Because every year, when these things happen, we see our leaders speaking to solutions and solutions and solutions. It means that there is something, they know something, but how to execute these solutions is our problem. And so I think that leadership is the problem. And I mean, we cannot sit down and, like you said, people build on the waterways as if they didn't get a permit. Because when you are building, you see AMA come and write stop work and all that. And sometimes when you go, you talk to them, you settle them, they will allow you to build. It means that they give you the permit to build. So I think that leadership is our problem because they themselves will give you the permit and later on. So I don't know what the sanction regime also doing because there's supposed to be leadership. How do you call it?
Some responsibility on the part of leadership, you mean? Well, he's gone, Samuel. Sorry about that. But he also raises another question. You know the area around the Wager Dam? Stanley Marty of the Ghana Water Company always talks about the fact that, look, they have spoken about it. They have gone to the assembly. They know that most of the people who are building there don't have permits because that area is not supposed to be inhabited by human beings. That's another buffer. People have built there. It's raining now. The water will flood their homes because it's the Wager Dam, the river would overflow its banks, gets there. And then they will come and say, give us compensation. From whose money? I always ask. From whose money? And you see, all these things are happening because as a country, we don't have a proper policy to solve the issue of housing deficit. We are all building like this. Nobody is building like that. The state itself is building like this. We are not building like that. So we had accommodation for appeal court judges. We went to break all the houses and we say we are building a house for God. Meanwhile, it is God's people who will go and worship God. If the people don't have where to lay their heads, can they go and worship God?
They'll sleep at the chapel.
That
now,
is a question.
when we finish, I'm a Christian, though. I'm not an atheist.
Of course.
But I'm saying that even God, when he created Adam and Eve, the first thing he did was to give them a place to live. God. He didn't say build a church for me. The first thing God, in his wisdom, when he created Adam and Eve, he gave them a place to live and what to eat. Emmanuel Samani is out there. Let's connect with him. Samani, good morning.
Hi, Johnny.
How you doing? Where are you?
So I'm currently on the Sunyani Street, some 100 meters from the Kanda post office, which is literally just behind the flagstaff house there. And as you can see in your shots, this tree has fallen as a result of the rain. And here's the interesting fact. This, we have this electric pole here in which the wires are exposed. So this tree came down with the electric pole. I don't know if you can see in your shot. And the wires, you know, the electrical wires, I don't know if you can see right there. I don't want to go too close, but the electrical wires are there. You know, the transmitting cables are in there. And it has literally cut off this road. So the drivers are diverted. So you are sure to see the drivers, you know, taking a different turn over there. And it is down. I don't know if ECT has informed the Ghana Council has informed as well, but the wires are exposed and it has literally cut off this entire stretch of the road on the Sunyani Street as a result of the rains from last night. Johnny.
Okay, Samani, thank you very much. That's well, that's a security zone, by the way. I'm thinking national security, right?
Which is why I'm surprised, because when I came to work, I talked about it, that it had fallen, and I was expecting
this
that
has been
by
3-4
now,
hours.
exactly,
4
by
hours
now,
since you saw that.
the authorities would have moved in, but clearly...
I saw it too.
Yeah.
4 hours.
You saw it.
So we have to go back.
Yeah.
4 hours. National security area. Within a 300-meter radius president. That's a V8.
President, exactly.
Now, it is still there. You remember some time ago, there was an armed robbery by some motorbikers that a taxi driver hit them. Dr. Baumia gave the person a house and some money. You remember also the issue about the cattle that roams behind the president's house.
Yeah,
you remember some cleaners from here were attacked at the back by some thieves there. So if within 100, 200, 300-meter radius of where our president is, we have all these things happening, does it give you an indication that our security agencies are working?
I hope this truth
And
is
that when
still
they
there.
print these things and say terrorists attack here, terrorists be vigilant, are they themselves being vigilant? This is a trio.
It's been there for hours.
It is a tree. 4 hours within close proximity. The vice president's house is just by the bend there somewhere, because that's the post office. The vice president's house is not far from there.
And the Jubilee House is just on the next street.
The Jubilee House is there.
So.
I'm talking about the seat of the presidency.
Yeah.
There's some exposed wiring as well.
Exactly.
And that is very dangerous. But speaking about the authorities, well, the Ghana Police Service, they say this is the public alert for the morning. They say due to the downpour since last night and this morning, they're urging the public, especially those in Accra and Tema, to be cautious during their commute. I've been speaking about little children this morning. Well, school authorities and parents are also advised to pay extra attention to school children who are already in school and those who are still trying to make their way to school. Police patrol teams have been deployed and are on the ground to ensure the safety of all. The last tweet in that thread by the Ghana Police Service reads as follows: "We remain committed to working with other safety stakeholders to offer the needed assistance." So that public alert there, just about an hour ago, as issued by the Ghana Police Service by way of their Twitter page. So they say do keep safe, and also for the school children, let's keep an eye on them if there's another heavy downpour. Johnny, you were asking what is the contingency plan for our little ones if something goes awry. Well, we'll be here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm asking these questions because sometimes it hurts and it makes it look as if those we pay to sort us out and look out for us are not really looking out for us. That's how I feel. This morning, I would have, rather than somebody wanting to be called honorable in a haste, I would have wished that any of our MMDCs would have come to say, well, it has rained, especially even Accra. It has rained, and if you have a challenge, these are the holding centers or evacuation centers. And that come there, shelter, psychological support, warm meal, while we try and fix the situation. None of the assemblies has done that. All the assemblies have planning officers. They have works department. They have what they call ESCO. They have MCs or DCs or whatever it is. None of the assemblies.
And this is the job for which they are paid.
They are paid for that. So Saturday it rained. People's homes were devastated, their lives as well. Sunday, it didn't rain. Monday evening, it has rained. Tuesday, none of the assemblies. and their minister for local government, and their regional minister. It is a responsibility. One of the callers said it is a question of leadership, not paper leadership. Because when there's a problem and the leader doesn't solve the problem becomes the leader and the leader becomes the problem. When there's a problem and the leader doesn't move to solve the problem, because you must show vision and leadership, the problem becomes the leader and the leader becomes the problem. But when you live in a country where it is dangerous to be right when the government is wrong, you are scared to talk. Only a few people speak. But tag them. Tag them. They have social media pages. Tag them. Show them the videos. Share. Let them wake up to the responsibility. Because in any other civilized country, by now, we would have gotten people to have been moved from those places. Because if we have weather warning that it's going to rain again, and we still haven't moved to say, oh, where are you? Let's move them from this area. But they say, oh, move to high. Whose house are you going to? Whose house are you going to? The responsibility of the state towards its citizens, where is it? Saturday it rained. Monday evening it has rained. It will rain again today, we are told.
That's right.
No single assembly within Accra, Takrady, Kumasi, wherever it is, has come out to say, this is my designated evacuation center. And that if you have a problem, come there. Let us build tents and say this is a high area so that we are trying to, so that you don't stay there. Because when it rains, the people will be stranded again. And I'm saying when people lose sleep 24 hours, 48 hours, and it goes on like that, it affects their psyche.
That's right.
Do we have the capacity to manage disaster in this country?